Om. 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 Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Yo Antah Pravishya Mama Vachamimam Prasuptam Sanjeevayatya Shakti अन्यांशहस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम् प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम् समचरणसरोजम् सान्द्रनीलाम्बुदाभम् जघननिहितपाणिम् मण्डनम् मण्डनानाम् तरुणतुलसीमालाम् कन्धरम् कञ्जनेत्रम् सदयधवलहासम् विठ्ठलं चिन्तयामि विठ्ठलं चिन्तयामि. Pranams to the Lord. Pranams to all the Mahatmas in tonight's Eknathi Bhagavad session. We are in chapter 14. We have finished 270 Ovis. Let's start from 271 tonight. Over to you, Sri Hariji.
271. I am having no possessions. My devotees have spent everything they have, and by offering all sorts of valuable things and attributing qualities to me, they have given me greatness. 272. I have no eyes. They have given me eyes. I have no ears. They have given me ears. I have no mouth, but now I can speak with their mouth. 273. Because of them, I come and go. Because of their kindness, I I don various ornaments on my limbs. And because of their kindness again, I have got particular place. All my power is given by them. 274. They gave me the name and form, and I have become sacred by their virtues. My permanent abode in Vaikuntha is made by the devotees only. 275. It is through devotion only that I have become a servant of my devotees. I am always standing by them to help. 276. I am having no birth, but I take birth for them. I'm having no duty. I'm having no duty, but for them I perform mainly acts, many acts. To obey their wishes and fulfill their hopes, I save even the greatest sinners. 277. Valmiki was a great sinner, but to fulfill the wish of Narada, I made him worthy of respect in all the worlds by means of repetition of my name. 278. Such is the power of devotion, which I obey. Without devotion, I am not pleased with anybody. 279. I have been burdened by the obligations of my devotees because I cannot repay their debts at all, and I am therefore servant of my devotees. 280. Actually, I have nothing with me to enable me to give them in return of their devotion and love. What little insignificant things I have given to them are also being told to you now. 281. The devotees have become honorable by my grace. They have achieved all the goals in life by my grace. They are always satisfied by the joy emanating from me, and by my grace, they are having the ecstasy of the self joy. 282. By my power, they are more powerful than anybody in the world, and thus they are able to negate the influence of the world on them by cutting the attachment without actually hitting by any weapon. Death cannot stand before them because of the strength which they have got from me. 283. It is by my sporting strength that they do not fear anybody in the world, and being in the body, they live outside its bondage. By my strength, they have overpowered the total annihilation. 284. By my power, which is infused in them, they have conquered the birth and death cycle, and by my worship, they have become eternal Brahman. 285. Even this is not given by me, but they have achieved it by the strength of their devotion. I cannot disobey them. Everything which is my glory and virtue has been looted by my devotees. 286. Though I am invincible, unconquerable, they have conquered and subjugated me by their devotion. Even my position as Atman is now in their possession. 287. The devotees, however, are wise enough to keep the authority of myself over all the world, though they enjoy all my powers and they do not deviate from the path of devotion. 288. You may be surprised to hear about the sanctity of the devotion which they have put. I do not hesitate. I have no doubt about that sacredness and the greatness of devotion, which please listen to. 289. When a person leaves aside the prestige and importance of his life in the ordinary social systems, and by purity of heart gives himself over to my devotion, he is worthy of being worshipped by me, even if he belongs to the caste of Chandala. 290. I have even response. I have even respectfully honored such dirty bears and monkeys and the children of cowards who are wandering in the forest and drink only buttermilk. 291. One should be taken as united with me and deserving respect throughout the three worlds, who, though belonging to a lower caste, is of very high level of devotion. 292. In one verse in the Bhagavata book, in its seventh skandha, it is said that I value even a Chandala who is my devotee more than a Brahmin having 12 virtues, but is averse to my worship. 293. More worthy, and many great ancient poets and men of wisdom bow to him. 294. Vidura was a son of a maidservant, but he became favorite of the Lord because of devotion. The feeling of faith is the important factor in the spiritual practice. Pride of any particular caste is useless. 295. Devotion is the only highest means for reaching me, and no other means are so useful. I have therefore bestowed upon the forest dwellers like monkeys and bears the much coveted status of freedom. 296. Vulture Jatayu, belonging to the meanest caste among birds, was given liberation by me. Dharma Vyadha, Dharma Vyadha, belonging to a low caste, was emancipated by me because he was my devotee. 297. One may be born in any caste or category of beings. If he has the real faith in me and devotion, he should be considered the very image of purity and sacredness. 298. The Lord said, by excluding my devotion, if one practices other means, they are of no use for attainment of unity with me. Logic and arguments and counter arguments are not the way to reach me.
धर्मः सत्यदयोपेतः विद्यावातपसान्विता मद्भक्त्यापेतमात्मानं न सम्यक् प्रपुनातिः.
Meaning of the verse: when a man is devoid of devotion towards me, his religious, even with truth and compassion, is not sufficient to purity him. 299. Any rituals and religious performances without having devotion in heart are nothing but confusion, and any religious endeavor which misses the crux of attainment of unity with me should be considered no religion. 300. Truthful talk without my devotion is like a child born blind, in which there are mistakes at every step, and that soul does not comprehend that he is retrogressing. 301. To praise compassion without any devotion in like praising a widow who is not admitted in any religious function. 302. Expertise in any subject or good learning, if it is without devotion, is ignorance. Just as a crow does not value moonlight, these scholars do not recognize self-knowledge. 303. A donkey travels with the burden of sandalwood on its back, but cannot appreciate the fragrance of that pure wood. Similarly, to read scriptures and study Vedas in just to bear a burden. 304. If a man observes fast and in other ways makes spiritual endeavors without having any feeling or devotion for me, it should be considered as retribution of the past sins committed by him, because that penance is not true at all. 305. Whatever religious efforts a man undertakes without love for me is just like a cocoon created by silkworm around itself, which encloses it. Any action devoid of inner devotion to the God becomes a bondage to the man. 306. So, in short, any work done without love for me is dry and futile. Now, the Lord is telling about the pure kind of devotion.
कथं विनारो महर्षं द्रवता चेतसा विना विनानन्दाश्रुतलया शुद्धेद्भक्त्या विनाशयः.
Meaning of the verse: how can the mind become pure without devotion accompanied by appearance of goose pimples due to joy, with tears flowing from the eyes, and with melting heart? 307. If a man listens with interest to the stories of Lord Hari or his adventures, or he constantly broods over the strangely divine, miraculous life of Hari, or discusses it with friends, his mind undergoes a change. 308. This arouses devotion towards me in his mind. Devotees sing my names with great love and dance in ecstasy. 309. As there in great upsurge of love from their heart, they sing and dance in the gathering of devotees. By the outward actions, their inner feeling of devotion is evident. 310. When the mind is overjoyed, the body shivers with joy, and the tears falling from the eyes tell the story of their self-realization. 311. By tremendous feeling of devotion, the fetters of I-ness and that I am also gets broken, and the interest in the worldly objects disappear. 312. At that time, there are goose pimples all over the body, tears flow freely from their eyes, and the self-bliss overflows out from the inner being. 313. Both the pupils are dilated. They shine with the light of the self, and the devotees are always cheerful. They are not aware of their body, and their mind is united with the God. 314. If there is no such devotion in a man, how can there be an apathy towards outer objects? And dear Uddhava, unless worldly desire dies, devotion to me is never possible. 315. Please listen to the signs and purity of a person who has really pure and blotless faith and devotion towards me. 316. He who has devotion to me, even a little for the first time, this beginning brings about immediate purity in his aura, his consciousness, and he, by his being a devotee, turns all the world that much towards God and purity. Thus the Lord declared with a certain emphasis.
वाग्गद्गदाद्रवते यस्य चित्तं रुदत्यधीक्ष्णौ हसति क्वचिच्च विलज्ज उद्गायति नृत्यते च मद्भक्तियुक्तो भुवनं पुनाति.
Meaning of the verse: the person who is blessed with devotion to me has his speech affected by emotion. His heart becomes soft. He cries a kid and laughs also occasionally. Without any shame, he sings and dances, and thus he purifies the whole world. 317. The devotee gets goose pimples all over the body, tears flow from his eyes, the mind is full of emotions, and the speech is also affected. 318. As the joy cannot be contained in the heart, eyes become half open, the soul becomes united the with the oversoul, and the three factors of the meditator, meditation, and the object of meditation are dissolved. 319. Tears flow profusely from the eyes. The emotional upsurge overflows through the eyes and speech, and there is no awareness of the body, and the devotee suddenly falls unconscious on the ground. 320. He cries out loudly the name of the God. He begins to sob continuously, and while crying, he starts laughing uncontrollably. He becomes as if possessed by a holy ghost, Samantha. 321. He laughs and cries continuously, and in the ecstasy of the devotional feeling, he begins to sing in that state about the greatness of God. 322. He forgets the duality of me and you. He forgets social manners and begins to dance with great joy and love of God. 323. So he is continuously dancing, laughing, singing, and crying. But what is the reason of his crying? I shall tell you, please listen. I shall presently tell you, please listen. 324. A child is estranged from its mother and it is crying while searching for her. When suddenly it sees her, what happens? It laughs and cries. It embraces her. 325. Similarly, the soul and the oversoul, the Atman and the Super Atman were missing each other in the city of illusion. And when they meet, the soul begins to cry and laugh. 326. They embrace each other as they are meeting after a long time, and as the joy cannot be contained in the heart, it is expressed through crying. 327. God is very naughty. He is not seen easily, but the devotee finds him in his house and becomes stunned and motionless due to surprise. 328. God is always near us, but when people run to far off places hoping to see him, he laughs at them. 329. When God is unconquerable and cannot be possessed, the seeker proudly says that he has caught God and that he is kept in his heart, and with that notion he dances with joy. 330. The idea of duality is dissolved by the devotee, and he feels that he has conquered God successfully by his devotion, and he begins to sing and dance merrily. 331. If one tries to see around the world, if one tries to see around in the world, one sees nobody else except oneself, and in the absence of any other, he has no cause to be bashful or shy about anything, and that is why such devotee behaves without fear. 332. In this way, my devotees sing and dance in the ecstasy of devotion, and by their joy, the three worlds get purified. 333. These devotees are so powerful spiritually that poor ignorant souls are liberated only by seeing their feet, and by the dust of their feet, even animals and stones are liberated. 334. By the loud sound of songs of these devotees, they wipe out the sorrow of all people and they also become happy. 335. Some devotees have liberated people by seeing or touching, or by giving advice, or by kirtana, or by repetition of God's name. O Uddhava, they have thus emancipated the world. 336. Jiva becomes spoiled by ignorance in his life, and for being pure, the devotion is the only means for him. The Lord was telling all this to Uddhava.
यथाग्निना हेममलं जहाति घ्मातं पुनः स्वयं भजते च रूपम् आत्मा च कर्मानुशयं विधूय मद्भक्तियोगेन भजत्यथो माम्.
Meaning of the verse, just as by fire gold becomes pure, and by blowing in the urn it resumes its own purity, and the Atman washes all his karma and worships me by the yoga of devotion. 337. If gold is having some lesser metal used for manufacturing of ornaments and has become impure, it cannot be cleansed by water. 338. But if the gold is turned into a thin sheet and heated in fire, the dust is burned and it shines in its original purity. 339. Similarly, one who has become dirty due to ignorance and selfish actions has the only means of my worship for washing off the dirt. 340. The more the mind is treated with devotion, the more loose the bondage of ignorance becomes. The root of Maya is destroyed and the soul reaches the highest level of Atman. 341. When the bondage of ignorance is cut, the soul experiences the complete self-knowledge, which is pure and itself the final reality. And by that self-knowledge, the soul is very happy and joyful. 342. You will perhaps ask that since the ignorance of the soul is removed by knowledge, what is the necessity of devotion there? 343. But really, the knowledge is not possible without having devotion. Please listen.
यथा यथात्मा परिमृज्यते सौ मत्पुण्यगाथा श्रवणाभिधानैः तथा तथा पश्यति वस्तु सूक्ष्मम् चक्षुर्यथैवाञ्जनसम्प्रयुक्तम्.
Meaning of the verse, the more one's mind gets purified by listening to and remembering my auspicious stories, the better able is the jiva to discern the subtle reality of the self, just as the eye is better able to perceive a minute object when treated with a medicated pigment. 344. When the seeker listens to and meditates upon or sings in the praise of my various adventures and my sacred stories and my characteristics, which are nicely described in the Vedas and scriptures, his mind becomes purer. 345. And the more he practices by my devotion, the lesser becomes the ignorance, and he realizes me in my pristine glory, which is not recognized even by Vedas and Upanishads. 346. The Jiva then becomes united with me in my extremely minute and abstract nature, which is normally not visible and is without any signs which can be perceived by the senses. By my worship in this way, he becomes totally satisfied. 347. The man who has put medicated ointment, which increases the vision, can see invisible things. Similarly, by my worship, the devotee becomes embodiment of knowledge. 348. O Uddhava, one thing you must note here, there is no necessity of undertaking difficult tasks. A man gets my blessings just according to his inner faith.
विषयान् ध्यायतश्चित्तम् विषयेषु विषज्यते मामनुस्मरतश्चित्तम् मय्येव प्रविलीयते.
Meaning of the verse, when the mind thinks and broods about objects, it becomes attached to them. And when the mind remembers me, it merges into me. 349. The man who is always thinking about sense objects is really absorbed into those objects, but he who always thinks about me becomes identified with me in my nature of knowledge. 350. When the wife of a man goes to her mother's home, she becomes present in his mind as a living image, and he becomes full of desire for her when he remembers how she looks, speaks, and moves about. 351. When one thinks about the woman who is not there, who is not present, she is manifest before the eye of the mind. Then it is natural that if one thinks about me, who is constantly in one's heart, I will be equally manifest in one's mind, and there will be identity of both the devotee and myself. 352. Then the thinker, the mind, the worries, and the state of meditation, all these factors disappears, and the man becomes embodied knowledge, which is also called unity with me. 353. My dear, this is the main means to be one with me meditation and my worship. 354. Whatever other object of meditation a man chooses, it becomes a bondage. Therefore, you should give up thinking about other objects and should concentrate on me alone.
तस्मादसदभिध्यानम् यथा स्वप्नमनोरथम् हित्वा मयि समाधत्स्व मनोमद्भावभावितम्.
Meaning of the verse, so you must give up thinking about unreal objects, just like the projection of the mind in the dream, and you must place your mind, which is already saturated with meditation on me, and be content forever. 355. What is unreal? It appears to be real, but it is perishable. It is illusory and apparent only. 356. That which attracts the mind in this world as well as the higher worlds by its beauty and deludes the mind by thoughtlessness is unreal, and see, all the beings are striving for perishable things and suffering a lot. 357. Even if a person gets divine pleasures in the heaven, they are also temporary, just like dream sequence. 358. It is obvious, therefore, that leaving this type of thinking, one should always meditate on me and his consciousness should be full of my presence. 359. When a man is having devotion and meditating with concentration, there are some things which are detrimental to the smooth meditation. The Lord Sri Krishna is telling about these distractions.
स्त्रीणां स्त्रीसङ्गिनां सङ्गम् त्यक्त्वा दूरत आत्मवान् प्रेमे विविक्त आसीनः चिन्तयेन्मामतन्द्रितः.
Meaning of the verse, by avoiding the company of women and of persons interested in women, the seeker of liberation should sit comfortably in aloneness and alertly meditate on me. 360. He who is really intent upon meeting me should totally give up the company of women. He should live in seclusion and meditate upon me. 361. More dangerous than the company of women is the friendship with a man who is attracted to a woman. One should not meet him, not talk to him, and one should not look at such a man even from a distance. 362. The seeker should avoid contact with woman and the womanizer by body, speech, and mind, and he should make up his mind strong with determination never to have anything to do with them. 363. He should find out a place where there is peace and aloneness, sit there quietly and meditate on me. 364. He should not be lazy. He should be alert. He should concentrate his mind and think of me. 365. Women and persons crazy about women are very important impediments in the way of my devotees. These always disturb the meditation and are calamities on the path towards me.
न तथास्य भवेत् क्लेशः बन्धश्चान्यप्रसङ्गतः योषित् सङ्गाद् यथा पुंसः यथा तत्सङ्गी सङ्गतः.
Meaning of the verse, a seeker will not suffer so much by keeping company with other persons as he will suffer from contact with women or with men who are crazy about women. 366. Millions of varieties of ignorance are assembled in the company of women. Even if one looks at a woman, disaster is sure to take place. 367. Woman is a heap of great illusion. She is fuel to the fire of desire. She is the great deception of the jiva and she is the downfall of man. 368. Please remember that she is the sharp arrow of the Cupid. She is the sinister machinery of the Maya, the power of the god, and she is the cauldron fermenting in the hell of darkness of ignorance. 369. By contact with woman, the knowledge becomes blind. She is the cause of various attachments, and in her company, man forgets his own welfare. 370. One has to lead a family life with all worries and anxieties because of woman. She causes such bondage for men that results into rebirth. She is the instrument of enjoyment of sense object, which are the iron fetters of the soul. 371.
We can pause over here. My God, again today, avalanche of lovely Ovis. My God. Over to you, Sri Hariji, for your takeaways.
Yeah, so again today, as you said, many verses to note and remember.
Yeah.
But fundamentally, yeah, Bhagavan was talking about the devotion, the importance of devotion, how it is very, very important. Uh, Nothing else is better than is equivalent to without devotion, nothing else is there. Like if I were to go back from where I started, from 285th verse, I mark. They, they have 286, 285. Wait. Bhagavan says, even this is not given by me, but they have achieved by the strength of their devotion. Because they have become eternal Brahman, he says. And so he says, I cannot disobey them. Everything is my glory and virtue has been looted by my devotees. So he says, they earn everything. And in other place, he also says, I got my the form itself given by my devotees. So I accept it. So I'm happy. They have given their house. So he explains further on how he is so obedient to the devotees. And he is also so happy that whatever devotees give to him. So that is how he says. And the second point is, it doesn't matter into which varna a person belongs. If he is absorbed in my worship, is a devotee. Like he gives examples of Vidura as a maid servant, and also the vulture Jatayu. Uh, so he says, so one may born in any caste or category. If he has real faith in me and devotion, he should be considered very image of purity and sacredness. That one I liked actually. And so many things today.
Yes.
Yeah, it says expertise in any great subject or good learning, even if it is without devotion or is ignorance. He says, like these days we quite hear about the the so-called learned people, the scientists who wants to everything they want a proof kind of thing, right? So they are definitely expert in their subjects, but there is no devotion in them, right? So it is all ignorance. It's of no value. It says like donkey travels with the burden of a sandalwood on its back, but cannot appreciate. Similarly, even those who reads the Vedas and all these religious procedures, right? If they are going to just undertake and do it for the sake of it, it's like of no use. It's like they create a cocoon around them like a silkworm. Without any devotion is useless. In fact, he says it's a bondage for them, right? So these kind of verses very clearly tells that a devotion is must in whatever we do. So then he went on and talks about how they become pure. How is even a one time, first time, right? 316. He who has devotion to me, even a little for the first time, this beginning brings about immediate purity in his aura. He says immediately his aura is purified. Is conscious, and he, by being a devotee, turns all the world towards God and purity. Thus, the Lord declared that a person who is blessed with devotion to me has his speech affected by emotion, his heart becomes soft, he cries and laughs. So, he explains how a devotee, even first time he starts, then devotes to me continuously, how he behaves, how the emotions come out. Uh, so he explains time and again. The devotee gets goose pimples all over the body, tears flow. So the expression of those emotions also is because of the devotion. So it's like he gives examples of why those kind of emotions flow. Because uh, he gives an example of a child and the mother not seeing for a long time, and when they see together, the joy how it flows, right? So likewise, uh, a person and his true nature, the Atman and the Paramatman, when in terms of Maya, they search in the darkness, and once they meet, the way they react is how he says as they cry, they laugh, those kind of explanation was amazing. Uh, so, yeah, so many things, Varshaji, today. Again, he talks about how the gold gets purified by the fire. Uh, so when the bondage of ignorance is cut, the soul experiences complete self-knowledge. So he talks about the question is how, when you got a complete knowledge, then why is devotion necessary? He says that knowledge comes only with devotion, in a simple word. So only if there is devotion, the knowledge comes, and only then one can get liberated. So also he speaks about how to start this, right? Listen stories about me, the Veda, scriptures, the chanting that we do. So it just remembered the devotion so much of devotion with which you perform this Narayaniyam and teach to so many people. I see people are chanting, memorizing, getting involved tirelessly. So you see, this is a fantastic thing about devotion, really experiencing the God, and this is the best path. And now you are taking us towards meditation also. It's like complete package, I would say. Whatever has been spoken today by Lord is already you are leading us towards that path, Vashan. So I just remembered, oh, this is the reason why we are chanting. We are Srimad Bhagavatam. Then we read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Narayaniyam, all his glory. So he says, listen itself is that lesson how to start devotion. There is no harder, simple method is this. So he says all those things, and we are already following that. So amazing, Varshaji.
Good.
Even one may
What
go
a
through
love.
Vedas and scriptures is very difficult path, and this is the very, very easiest path.
Mhm. So beautifully you read also, and so beautifully you covered also all the points. Wow. For me, one point was we should focus is at 314. Unless worldly desire dies, devotion to me is never possible. So devotion benefit we read, but worldly. So we can't keep feet on two boats. Go in the world also and have little bit evening some classes also. That will not work. This is a full-time job. So that I felt so much that okay, everything yes about devotion, but where the devotion begins, then that worldly desire should, and it will automatically happen. Automatically the circle changes. Automatically those people drop off. Automatically we get new friends in the sense who understand or talk the same language as we do. Everything changes. House changes. Kids also change. Everything changes. Beautiful.
And Bhagavan says that as unreal. He talks about real and unreal. So whatever the objects that we see, whatever wow things that we see are all unreal. And we have to ignore that. And what is real is just listen to my stories, understand about me, do the prayers, chanting. That is real. Thinking about me, you and I become the same. So there was many Ovis that talks about how you can become one just by doing meditation and thinking about me.
And you have the best company, Varshaji. Kids who accompany you to temples, and what to say of those kids?
Amazing.
Somehow it is happening even I don't know how. See again at 340, no? The more mind is treated with devotion, the more loose the bondage of ignorance become.
All right.
It's
Yeah.
mutual. Now you develop a then that and then that root of Maya gets destroyed. And then we rise to a higher level of consciousness. I love that also. 340.
Yeah.
Good.
Again,
Excellent.
342, so in the same line is what he says. You will perhaps ask that since the ignorance of the soul is removed by knowledge, what is the necessity of devotion there? Then he goes on and tells knowledge, really knowledge is not possible without devotion at all. So amazing thing. So removal of ignorance with knowledge, no, it is only devotion gives knowledge to remove ignorance. So the
Rajiv, do you
devotion
have
is
anything to add?
It was totally. I was just listening only because it was every OV was so filled with so much of. Actually, it's right to the starting itself, 272, that he says, "You are my. I mean, you give me my eyes, all possessions, ornaments, everything is from you, devotees." That Bhagwan is saying. So it starts with that and very nice.
To read also, we feel so happy, no? Like, like that. We feel so joy to read about this.
This is very
Even to
close to the
listen,
heart.
Varshaji, even to listen. Sorry to interrupt. Even
I'm
listening
sorry.
also.
Yeah, good. So nice. So
Really.
next week we don't have a session and any session. Though Monday is okay, but still we'll not have. Or Monday we want to have. I'm not sure if I'll go out somewhere. That's how it is, but just today. Tuesday midnight I'm traveling, so I'm not sure. Let's not have anything on next week. And then on the following week, I will message depending upon how Sunday morning I'm coming. Monday should be fine. Let us see. Then I'll message whether we start on Monday or Tuesday. Okay. Let's end today's session. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Shri Krishnarpanamastu. Hari Om everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Shri Arjun,
Thank
for
you,
lovely reading a summary. Thank you.
Hari Om.
Hari
Thank you.
Om. Hari Om.
Thank you, Hari Om.
Thank
Hari
you
Om.
so much, Varshaji.
Thank you, my dear. Yeah.
In life, never even thought this much will be involved. Never even thought this many years. Never even thought.
really enjoying every moment, every shan, no, enjoying like anything, or totally doing household work and coming to read again Narayaniam or something, memorization, writing all the time. There's no other time. We are not spending for some other things. Cannot even don't have time to think other things.
Nice.
I second with Padmaji. It's always like either work or go with Narayaniam or some other chanting.
Yes.
So the days so
Time is not enough. It's not enough.
I'm
I
so
think
happy
you
it's
are stopping us from going astray also. I mean, like, otherwise our mind will be occupied in
No,
some
so
other.
it is actually his job not to hold us like this. See, he is only making each by day a step higher. I have not planned it, right? So it is happening. So even I'm also undergoing, I'm also memorizing now and then. So
this is
because
so
it's not happening
nice.
because I've done it. I'm also doing so. I think it's his way to hold us together like this and make us do things. So time goes, morning goes with this, that afternoon goes like that, evening with this, and then again to prepare for the next day. It's like it
I
goes
love so
on.
much to record
In the
and send
beginning,
us.
it was very difficult even to read. Also, it was very difficult to understand, read everything. Now, I don't think it is so that hard to
Oh,
read
I
and
got
learn.
to know that you teach also now. You can say. Good.
Actually, today, Varshaji, it was like I am the kind of foolish man thinking so many classes, so many chanting, how we will focus. I couldn't join also due to my official things but I was keep thinking why so many classes, so many chantings. Then today I got the answer for that. To be able to only devote to God by chanting Him, thinking of Him is more than no need of understanding everything also. Just
And what happens
devoting.
is if we put that little sankalpa for him, no, he takes the
He
rest.
will take care. Correct.
We don't have to do anything. We just have to show our eagerness to do for him. Then even the office work also he will
He will
take
do it.
care through.
You are
It
right.
becomes
It
very
improves, yeah. You
In
feel
fact,
more
yesterday I
relaxed.
told to Nikhil also, during COVID and before COVID, during COVID time, I was able to devote so much time. But right now I'm missing so many classes. So it's, as you rightly said, I should have the strong desire and determination, then he will take care.
he takes care. He will take them. That work will not fall at that place. It
Correct.
will change something, and that course will only change, and the pattern of work will change. Something
True,
happens.
absolutely.
He
And
makes it conducive for you to. If you have the desire to do it, then he makes it conducive.
Conducive
That
also.
okay. That
Varsha ji, we have live examples, Ajib ji. All the time busy, then too is devoting so much time.
uh,
Live example.
Yeah.
But this Narayaniam Parayana, I didn't take up a new chapter which I didn't learn, Varshaji. I was scared to do it, so I took up all the chapters which are familiar, Dashakas which I am familiar. I
no,
feel
this
so
wasn't.
bad about it.
No, that's fine. But next time, okay, then what you have not done to do so that you would be able to do. Okay. Hmm.
Varsha ji, I was thinking different chandas. How will I do? No, from past 2 3
But you
months I was
amazed us,
thinking, and
Padmaji.
I just got 77, and
Very well.
I was really
You did
uh,
good. You did good. Very nice it was. So let's see how 24th goes on. Very excited.
even I'm so much excited.
So see you all. Not the next week, the week after that.
Yeah,
And
enjoy your
you.
travel,
Hariom.
Varshaji. Hariom.
Sorry.
Thank you so
Enjoy
much,
your
everyone.
travel.
Enjoy your travel.
Thank you. Yes. Midnight wedding. Andhra wedding is
Yeah,
midnight.
yeah.
The muhurtam is at like 11:50. So I
Oh,
said, it's morning, right? So he'll have no in the night. Then he said that everybody will have dinner and go at 7, 8 o'clock. And only a few will be there actually for the wedding. Wedding, nobody will be there. And there is not some chadanga at wedding. All the chadangas are finished before that. The wedding time is giving something like that. He said. I said, okay, now let's see.
It is only tying the thread. That's all during the wedding. Everything will finish. That is the specialty of Andhra. It will be midnight or early mornings at 2:33.
Yeah, like that only he said it's going to be like that. And I said, fine. So he is Andhra and his wife is Keralite. And she was my roommate. And then that was in our marriage. So he would knock our door and he would say, Varsha. So he would call me. So that means, okay, Priya has to go. So he would call that because we were all staying together. The next apartment was his and in Coimbatore, in Arivedha Council. So we had, so and they got married on 28th September 1998. I remember in Coimbatore. I think the daughter happened. No. So the daughter is like our daughter. We had only one daughter. So now her wedding. Mhm.
Yeah. It will be so nice.
Hari Om Varsha.
Okay, Hari Om.
Hari
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Thank you, Varsha ji.
Hari Om, my turn.